Hey, good morning. Happy Festivus. Welcome to an Airing the Grievances edition of Hobby Evolution, episode 763. It's Friday. It's Festivus. It's cold as shit. Oh my God, is it cold? It is so cold. We have shitty windows, earmuffs. We have shitty windows, and air gets through. And when air gets through, when it's minus 15, condensation happens. And then when it gets super duper cold, well, minus 15, super duper cold, it freezes. So I am going window to window where the wind is hitting and trying to take care of that. That is a grievance. These crappy windows we have, thank God, and we've replaced them because they were under warranty. So we had the builder come out like the first year. The company that built the house has like this warranty, and it's kind of like a cookie cutter. They put up these subdivisions, and so the craftsmanship it's okay. So we get like a year. They come out, they check. They're like, yeah, there's something. Yeah. So we replaced some windows, and I mean, I would say it's almost worse, but I don't know if we've actually had this cold of weather since the windows were replaced. Some of the windows were replaced. So anyway, that's grievance number one. It is so freaking cold. It's not, and I bet no matter where you are at, if you're listening right now, I bet it's freaking cold where you're at. And cold is all relative because there's no way you slice it. I think it's negative 15 right now. That's effing cold. We've got a negative 30 wind chill, which is actually better than the wind chill yesterday. They were predicting minus 55. So at least right now, it's not minus 55. I think it's minus 30. But like in Florida, it's 40. And right now here in Wisconsin, 40 sounds like grab your shorts. But if you're from Miami and live in Miami, 40's effing cold. 40's like minus 15 in Wisconsin. So no matter where you're at, it's probably effing cold. Let's see. Let's get into the chat. By the way, it's also, not only is it Festivus and we're going to air some grievances, but it's also a free-for-all Friday, and we're going to do Name the Player. We're going to let you choose between 1987 Topps and 1988 Topps baseball. Viewer's choice on Name the Player. I'm glad it's Festivus, and I'm glad it's Friday because I ain't got nothing else. Oh, I guess I could give you an eBay update. We'll share that in my grievances, my eBay update, because guess what? I didn't leave the house. The only time I went outside yesterday was to scoop a path for Biscuit to go potty. And then I would carry her out because she's a little dainty. So I would carry her out to go to her little grass patch to potty. I didn't even F with the driveway or the sidewalk, and like only one or two of my neighbors did. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, I don't get that. I don't get. Let's share that for the grievances. I'll just share that for the What are you doing? What are you doing? We'll share that for the airing of the grievances, which I have written down. And I've got, okay, we're going to plowing. We'll just put plowing. It's actually shoveling and eBay. I did not have eBay. eBay was on my good list. eBay has made the naughty list in the last couple days. So they will have some grievances to bear. Terry, what's up? Good morning to you. We've got David. Happy Festivus. Paul, good morning. Scotty Dubs, what's up? Merry Christmas Eve. Heck yeah. Brian Dean is in the house. What's up, Brian? Herman, good morning. Stay warm to you, Victor. I'm sure it's probably just as effing cold where you are in Chicago. Flipping Sports Guy, what's up? Good morning. Matt Royals 417 says, I got a problem with you people. The flipping sports guy says windows on a sports card seller budget, not good. Right? That's what I was telling my wife as we were wiping windows down. I'm like, thank God this is like the last winter in this house when it comes to some of these things. So the next house will have much better windows because we made a point of buying the nice. We didn't have a choice. Like this house, it's like you get these windows. I don't even think there was a choice to upgrade because they had the greasy palm, the grease your palms relationship with whatever crappy window company. And I think after the year after our house was built, they switched up contracts because the windows were so bad. Whatever company they use, they were so bad. Herman has dropped 10 degrees since the sun came up. Oh, that's not good. Ho, ho, ho. What's up, Dan? Randy has a negative 35 wind chill in Illinois. Yikes, son of a bitch. Randy, I will make it a point. I'm going to air my own grievances. I left your box upstairs. So I will run upstairs and we will open Randy's box live here this morning. I'm going to write that down so I don't forget. On my grievances. I've got a grievance on myself. So I will run upstairs and get that. Flipping sports guy says it's 50 here outside of Philly, but will be 15 by 5 p.m. That's quite a drop. It's just been cold as hell all week here. It's 21 here, but feels like 10. Very windy today. It is so windy here. Brian says we put 3M film up on our windows because our house faces the north. Helps a lot. That's what, yeah, my north-facing windows are just brutal. Brutal. Happy Festivus, Brian. What's up? Victor's got -9, wind chill at -33. Herman's got 22 degrees with 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts. I've got AccuWeather pulled up. I can't, for some reason, get this damn pop-up to close. We'll refresh AccuWeather. Let's go to weather.gov. They're supposed to be, I'm sure when it comes to temperature, I think weather.gov is going to be the best. Let's see. Enter my zip. And this is what we used when I was on the radio station. I am not Janesville, Rock County. Oh, maybe that's just because I typed in the zip code. I wonder if I do, let's get a little closer. Let's see if, aha, here we go. We've got Middleton's Airport, which is just a few miles from me. We've got -10 degrees as the air temperature. We've got winds gusting at 30 miles per hour, a wind chill of -34. So that's straight from the Middleton Airport. F, that's cold. F, that's cold. Reppin' Rajon Rondo, what's up? Merry Christmas to you, or Merry Christmas Eve. Feliz Festivus. It's Festivus for the rest of us. Daniel Larson, what's up? You know what grinds my gears? All the negativity in the hobby. Well, get buckle up, Daniel. Buckle up. This is gonna be we're gonna bitch a lot this morning. We're gonna air those grievances. All the corruption is just par for the course. Get out if you don't like it. For the most part, I agree, but there's a lot of stuff that I've got a problem with. I've got a problem, and we're going to air our grievances. Boston Smoke, good morning. Could you please put up the eBay insurance form link again? I have a few issues. One is an acknowledged USPS employee theft. Well, that ain't good. That sounds very bad. Let's see. Here we go. So here is the PIP claim, and boom. There you go. There's the link. That's for standard envelope only. So that does not cover bubble mailer or boxes, packages. That is only for standard envelope. So the PWEs shipped via standard envelope. You can use that form, and it's as long as you have tracking, it will. You should get a refund. Let's see. Boston Smoke, good morning to you. Could you please? I just. How about we air the grievances on Bo's memory? You just read that, you dumbass. Matt says Kansas is -4, Feels like minus 25. Daniel says also $35 Chrome blaster boxes. I bought 3 of those damn things and womp womp. Oh, I did pull an auto, which I don't think I've listed yet. You are welcome, Boston Smoke. Brian says, I want a sports card radio bow kind of show. Let's go. You dip, Daniel. I'm just gonna air some grief. You know, the thing is on this morning's show, the grievances I have in the hobby here on Festivus, I've bitched about before. I think you're all gonna know my thoughts on promoters' signs. I don't know if I've shared my PSA, my latest PSA grievance. I don't think I shared my SportLots grievance, which I need to bring that up. PPP. Yeah, you know me. I think I've shared my thoughts on that. Plowing and shoveling, I think is going to be new for this morning. And eBay, I just bitched about yesterday, but I have kind of an update, which actually annoys me even more. The no update, which is worse than nothing at all. Kyle, what's up? Headed out in the tundra for a few hours, going to think about the Madison Card Show in January. Maybe those happy thoughts will provide extra warmth. Heck yeah. January 21st, something we won't have any grievances about, the Madison Card Show. January 21st, Sheraton Hotel, John Nolan Drive. Can't wait. So that's coming up. Cooter's in the house. Happy Festivus. I nominate Keating for the feats of strength. Terry's got minus 32 wind chill here in Northwest Ohio. Good morning, Mark. Not too bad in Jersey, about 35. That feels warm. It's going to be 40 here next Wednesday, I think. So that's going to be nice. Now, in September, 40 is effing cold. But after you've dealt with minus 15, it's going to be effing awesome. I'm going to take the dog for a walk. As long as the snow's, well, hopefully the snow is melted. We actually didn't get too much snow. I can't really tell. It's been so damn windy. It's blowing all over the place. Zach Sports Cards and Collectibles. Zach, what is up from cold Georgia? It's cold in Georgia. It's cold everywhere. Gosh, dang it. So let's rip that Band-Aid off and air our grievances. So let's start with I'm just going to go from the top. Rep and Rajon says, I've had 3 cards that I shipped this month that never arrived and I had to issue refunds. Is it worth effort to bug USPS to get $2 to $4 back? Frustrating. I will say if those were shipped standard envelope, I just read John's comment. So I'm going to go back, or Rep and Rajon Rondo. So if those are standard envelope, yeah, you're not like bugging anybody. The link that I just put up in the chat, the insurance claim, basically, basically you go on your eBay ID, your name, your PayPal address to confirm the tracking number. Was it a loss or a damage? Likely a loss. Let's see. Then you've got your recipient's name and screenshot the order details. Boom, file the claim. And typically within 24 to 48 hours, you'll get that money back in your PayPal. So it's actually a relatively simple process, and you're not bugging anybody. Actually, the only person that's getting bugged in the whole thing is yourself, because you have to take the time to fill out that form. I hate forms. There's a grievance. I hate forms. I hate filling out forms. Let's see. Cooter says 2 degrees in red skies. That's good, right? I don't know about red. Pink sky in the morning is not good. Take warning for that pink sky in the morning. Pink is a shade of red. So I guess if it's red, that's probably not good. My other grievance is the fact people still bow down to PSA. Send a message by using SGC or CSG. Quit the insanity. Yes. I'm going to get into PSA's number 2 on my list. By the way, these are not in any particular order. It's just as I thought of them. So no particular order, but my first grievance is going to be with signs at card shows. There's John's comment. People bitching about the cold winter time, dumbasses. I read that in Red Foreman's voice from that 70s show, which, hey, I guess tit for tat. That 70s card show. I said the T word. Now the sex bots are going to join in. Rapid Rajon says standard envelope. Yeah, click that link above in the chat and boom, you'll be all good. Good morning, Sal Dougie in the house. Abraham. Rapid Rajon says, thanks. Joined a minute late. Appreciate it. You bet. If you haven't been on a show with Danny Black in the last month, then please leave the country, son of a biscuit. I got to go find my passport. Mark says, so true, John. You live in the Midwest or the Northeast and it's December. What the hell do you expect? I don't expect 35 below wind chills. That's just too damn cold. I know it's coming, but it's like the first snowfall, okay? I'm 40. I've seen snow for the past 40 years of my life because I've lived in Illinois and Wisconsin. But when I see that first snowfall, I'm like staring out the window like it's an invasion of aliens in my backyard. It's amazing. And I know it's coming at some point. It's kind of like when there's like tornado warnings. What do you do in a tornado warning in the Midwest? And I know Cooter is in more dangerous territory. Well, here in Illinois and Wisconsin, we go outside on the driveway or the back deck or patio, and we stare up at the skies, usually holding like an old Milwaukee light or a Busch light. And we stare at the skies, just waiting for a tornado. That's what we do in the Midwest. Joe Caprino, what's up? 21 days until CubsCon. Thank God. CubsCon is back. I can't wait. It's going to be a blast. I'm going to get to meet Joe. Victor's going to be there for the first time. So we're going to have a fun old time. Reppin' Rajon says, maybe you don't make anything from YouTube, but I hope you feel a little better knowing that I just made money watching your YouTube, $2 to $4. Hey, that's what we're here for. That is what we're here for. I appreciate it. I had somebody reach out, shout out to Chad. Chad's kind of local to me and reached out and said some nice things about the show and how he's learned a lot and has made some money selling on eBay through some of these videos. So that's what I'm here for. Pass it forward, because this stuff, I didn't learn this stuff on my own. I mean, some of it, yeah, it was trial and error. I didn't read that Todd Marinovich, believe it or not, Todd Marinovich and Brian Taylor sells. I wasn't watching sports card investor videos, listening to him talk about Todd Marinovich and Brian Taylor. I just decided, you know what? These guys were pretty hot in 1991. I'm going to throw these on eBay. And it worked. But for the most part, a lot of the things that I talk about, I learned from other people. So I just want to pass it forward. Let's see. John says participation award generation might not make it to their 50s. eBay chat is useless. I agree 100%. Bring your mitt to CubsCon. They may be having tryouts. Here's something. Caitlin, what is up? Good morning to Caitlin in cold Georgia. So let's air grievances about the Chicago Cubs. So that's not on my list, but since John mentioned it, my grievance isn't with the actual Chicago Cubs. My grievance is with the fans, the Cubs fans, that are just outright complaining. They want the Cubs to go out and spend money like the Dodgers and the Giants with that original Correa contract. And I just think that's silly. And how often do these like super duper super teams like have sustained success? Not often. I mean, do they make the playoffs? Sure. That's not the goal. The goal is to win. So my grievance is I really liked the way the Cubs, I like the way the Cubs are building this team this year. And they made, and I didn't really, it was a kind of an epiphany yesterday because the Cubs signed Tucker Barnhart, backup catcher, maybe a platoon with Yan Gomes, and added Drew Smyly. Now I'm looking, it's like the Cubs have multiple starting pitchers. Kyle Hendricks signed Jamison Tyone. Hayden Wisniewski came on, Justin Steele, Keegan Thompson, young guys that really pitched well as starters in 2022. Now you throw in Drew Smiley, and I think, did we add somebody else? I thought we added one other pitcher. It's like, whoa, we've got like a 9-man rotation. So I like the starting pitching that the Cubs added. Now that I love Wilson Contreras, but when I started seeing some of the defensive stats on Wilson, he was a great hitting catcher, and he was the best hitter on the team. And then I thought, I don't know if I want my team to be led in hitting by a catcher. That just doesn't seem like a formula for success when the catcher is your best hitter on your team. And so I look in Dansby Swanson. I'm not going to waver away. He was not my first, second, or even probably third pick as a free agent signee. Bogarts was number one. I did want Correa, but looking at that contract, hell no. And who was Trey Turner? I probably would have put Trey Turner ahead of Correa, behind Bogarts and ahead of Correa. And then Swanson in fourth, like, okay, I don't have a date for the prom, so I'm going to take my sister, basically. That sounds really bad. I'm kind of excited about Dansby. I'm like, well, the Cubs are building their team around defense, especially up the middle, because Yan Gomes, very light hitting catcher, but he's a great defender. Same with Tucker Barnhart, really good catcher, defender. Up the middle, Nico Horner will move over to second base, where 2 years ago he was a Gold Glove finalist at that position. So he was kind of out of position at shortstop. Dansby Swanson, a great defending shortstop, and his glove better than the bat. Although when I started looking at the stats, Dansby Swanson was a pretty damn good for position at shortstop. I thought he was going to be Dansby Swanson was going to be like toward the bottom of shortstop rankings in batting, but he was actually like in the top 5 in like every category. So that made me feel a little better about Dansby Swanson as far as offense goes. And then who's in center field? Bellinger. We signed Cody Bellinger, who's, you take a 1-year flyer on Bellinger. Okay, I'm cool with that. I like the way we're building this team. It's put together like, you have, and I don't have the actual stats or numbers. By the way, this is probably going to be like a 2-hour show because I haven't even got to my grievances. We're going to play Name the Player. It's a free-for-all Friday. Buckle up. It's cold as hell. So we're going to go long this morning. So I like the way the Cubs are building, and it's just annoying seeing, the Cubs management doesn't know what they're doing. And now I look back, and I was so pissed that Wilson Contreras signed with the Cardinals. And now it's like, you know what? I'm looking at some of those numbers, and it's like, maybe they know more than what us fans do after all. So I like what the Cubs are doing. And it's like, what annoys me is my grievance, circle back to the grievance on this part, is that it's like a week into free agency and like one player, Trey Turner, signs, and Cubs fans, oh my God, we're not going to get anybody. It's like, there's still 90% of the free agents out there. What did that quarterback up in Green Bay say? Spell out RELAX. I hate quoting Packers. Just relax. I like the way the Cubs roster is coming together. I like the way the Cubs are building this roster. Quote me on this. The Cubs will be in the playoffs in 2023. Playoffs? The Cubs will be a playoff team in 2023. Now, it'll probably be a wild card. I think the Cardinals will win the division, as much as that pains me to say. But I think the Cubs will finish second in the NL Central, and they'll get a wild card. So quote me on that. December 23rd, Bo's Festivus prediction. Cubs in the playoffs. John says Philly's best hitter is their catcher. Yeah, JT Realmuto. But here's the thing, John. How many great offensive catchers are in all of Major League Baseball? Like 3 or 4, and the Phillies have one of them. There's like 3 that Who are some of the other ones? Real Muto and who else? There's about 3 like top tier offensive catchers. The Phillies have one of them. Astros catcher is their worst hitter. And that may be true for the Cubs next year between Barnhart and Gomes. Max says Turner was the best shortstop available by far, in my opinion. I like Swanson's contract the best out of any of those guys, though. I agree with that. I don't know if I agree best shortstop available by far. I would not agree with that. I know these are just our opinions, but I would prefer some of the other guys. But as far as like bang for your buck and contract, I think Swanson's contract by far, I agree with that, the best out of the others. John says, I'm not sure I have a point. Max says, Willie being the Cubs' best hitter is because the rest of the lineup could barely make the Iowa team. Good point. That is a good point. And Wilson Contreras is up there among the best hitting catchers. So he may actually be in like the top 3, 4. I don't have the numbers, but just guessing. I bet he's like one of the top 3 or 4 where he's probably going to be. Now with the Cardinals, he's not going to be the best hitter. They've got a pretty stacked lineup, but yeah, when you're fielding a team of mostly AAA and 4A players, Contreras is going to be your best hitter. Basement card collector, good morning to you. Defensive Cubbies are going to need to hit a little. Dansby is a sneaky hitter, doubles RBI, a few home runs. You know, he hit 20, or somebody, I think it was in my group chat. He's hit 52 home runs over the past 2 seasons. That was much more. I thought he was like a 12 to 15 home run hitter, but he's like a 25 home run hitter. So I'll take that. Brian says, feels like there's one piece away. I don't know what the piece is, but it's that far away. John says, how could a kid who grew up in Illinois in the 90s be seen wearing a Bucks hoodie? I hated the Chicago Bulls in the 90s. How about that? I was not a Bulls. I was like the first, probably the first 2 maybe even the first 3 championships. I was a Bulls fan. And then when Jordan left, and how old was I? So that was like, I was maybe 12. And that's when when Jordan retired the first time, that's when I really got into basketball, especially the NBA. And there was a young guy named Shaquille O'Neal who I just fell in love with as a basketball player. And I was a huge Orlando Magic fan. Shaq and Penny, Dennis Scott, Nick Anderson. I freaking loved the Orlando Magic. I had the Orlando Magic starter jacket that I would wear all day back in junior high. Those that are 40, probably 30. If you were anywhere between the age of 36 and 44, I bet at one point in time you wore your brand new starter jacket like as a t-shirt at school all day long. So yeah, and then I hated, and then when Jordan came back and Rodman, Pippen, I never liked Pippen. I always hated Scottie Pippen. Even like I guess the first 3 championships I was too young to like hate basketball player, hate players. I shouldn't use that word. I should strongly dislike. But yeah, I was, and then after that I just kind of, and then by the late 90s, I didn't even care about the NBA, and still to this day, I'm not a Milwaukee Bucks fan. I'm not a Chicago Bull. I would probably root if the Bulls somehow got good. The Bucks are good, and if the Bulls and Bucks played in the NBA Finals, I would root for the Bulls. But yet, I don't have any Bulls gear. I have one Milwaukee Bucks piece of clothing, and I'm wearing it right now. It was at Costco, and it was at the time when I was a fan free agent of the NBA, which I've pretty much always been. I've never really had a team. And I'm like, I'm going to become a Bucks fan. And then I'm like, I just don't want to watch regular season NBA. So in the playoffs, I'll start being a fan. And the first round, it's like, oh, it's just the first round. I'll wait till the second round. Second round, it's like, it's just the second round. I'll wait till the conference finals. Then I'll start watching all the Bucks games. The conference finals came, and it's like, I just really don't care. But I will care when the NBA finals come on, and I didn't watch a minute. So I am not a fan. Bo just had his Will Greer moment. I don't even know what that Greer moment was. Andrew's in the house. What's up, Paige and Deanie Bean? Max says, oh, God, no, they aren't even within 10 games of the playoffs. Nope, quote me. December 23rd, 2022, the Chicago Cubs will be a wild card playoff team in 2023. Quote me. And Max, you can buy me a Cubs card at the October Madison Card Show. Buy me a Cubs card. Harlan, what's up? And if the Cubs aren't a playoff team in October 2023 at the Madison Card Show in October, I'll buy you a Cubs card. Harlan, happy Festivus to you. Let's see where we at. Brian Dean says, I've always thought a catcher should be the best hitter because he gets to see all kinds of different pitchers and pitches every day. Yeah, and why is it? Why is it that catchers seem to be the weakest link in the lineup for the most part, unless you're the Phillies or the 2022 Cubs? Mark says, my Mets signed over $800 million in contracts, but you don't play games on paper. It's not fantasy baseball. Absolutely. 100% agree. And I mean, there's so many. We can go back in time, especially in the huge contract era. Just go back 20 years and look at some of the super teams with those absurd contracts. And I bet more underperformed than outperformed. Diego, what is up? Good morning. Happy Festivus. Red Light 34 in the house. Let's see. Royals 417 says 3 people claiming their team is going to the playoffs before spring training. Royals in 2023. Sorry, that should be 2033. Max says Shaq is the most underrated, underappreciated athlete ever. That's a strong statement. I will say in the hobby, Shaq is very underappreciated in the hobby. Although I listed some basketball cards in my store yesterday, a lot of 90s stuff. And I had a Topps rookie that had a corner ding. So I marked it I listed it half price. Most of the rookies were listed for like 15. So I'm like $750. I put corner ding in all caps in the title just to remove all uncertainty. And it sold like right away. Tom Gibson, what's up? My buddy from Peoria. I have a feeling we're going to lose a lot of 3-2 games this year. I also have a sneaky suspicion that Bellinger is going to be hitting 161 on June 1st, but I would be thrilled if I am wrong. Yeah, the Bellinger signing is one where it's just like, it was a 1-year deal. It's kind of a low risk, high reward type of deal. So, will it suck if he's hitting $160 on June 1st? Absolutely. It'll suck if anybody's hitting $160 on June 1st. But it's not like it's, if you sign Carlos Correa for $400 million and he's hitting $160, I'd be a lot more pissed off. Basement card collector, 49ers jacket. 7th and 8th grade for me. Starter jackets. Oh, man, I love them. I love them. Max says, are they still playing basketball in Chicago, or have DeRozan and Levine still not getting along? I have no idea. I don't follow it. And here's my grievance on Christmas Day sports, which I've shared before. Christmas Day sports sucks. But I love when Christmas falls on a Sunday, because that means we have not only Christmas Day games, but Christmas Eve games. And the reason I'm wearing a Milwaukee Bucks hoodie today, I was going to wear my Chicago Bears hoodie, and as I grabbed it off the shelf, I'm like, oh, wait, the Bears play tomorrow on Christmas Eve. I'll wear my Bears hoodie tomorrow. So that's why I'm wearing the Bucks hoodie. So I'm happy the Bears play at noon tomorrow. I think they play Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills. And then we've got games on Christmas Day, so I don't have to watch the NBA. I can't, as much as I want to watch the NBA, I just cannot get in. But I love basketball, and I love college basketball, and a lot of like NBA fans. How can you not like the NBA? It's the greatest player. If you like college basketball, it's like taking the best college basketball players and putting them together. But yet, for some reason, that formula just falls flat for me. I think the NBA kind of sucks. That's my grievance. Jeff Wilson, Will Greer equals Bo and Cubs playoffs. I think Will Greer is 4 times. Quote me on it. Cubs playoffs 2023. Reppin' Rajon Rondo, I listen while working, so a 3 to 8 hour show every day would be perfect. And then I wouldn't get any shipping done, though, or listing. If you don't mind spending your life in that chair. Max says, I hope I get to buy you that card. I hope so, too. Daniel says, I can see the Cubs making an offer to Soto or Ohtani next season. Wouldn't that be something? That would be fun. If you don't believe in big contracts, Bloom will love you. Is it Chaim? Bloom? Let's see. John says, where are we at? John says, people getting 9-figure contracts aren't underrated ever. Fight me. What happened in Boston? Daniel says, most underappreciated. Tim Duncan. There's another underappreciated basketball player. Michael, what is up? Matt is going to add another grievance. Owners complaining about Cohen, even though they do the same. That's very true. If they had the money, they'd fork it out like Steve Cohen. Also, anyone jumping on the small market teams can't compete bandwagon. Let's see. Uncle Rich in the house says, hit like and subscribe. Thank you, Uncle Rich. John says, brief as ain't so fun when Jalen Hurts is your fantasy quarterback. Rich wants us to keep the Wisconsin winter weather. It is damn cold. At least, hey, Rich, at least, I have that up for a reason. Let's click there. Bring my weather forecast back up. Rich, at least your current temperature and forecast is not -10 with a -36 degree wind chill. 28 mile per hour wind gusts. Effing cold, man. Effing cold. Let's see. Brian says, morning from Miami. It's probably cold in Miami. It's rainy here. LOL. I'm in shorts and flip-flops. Well, it's going to get cold. Aren't there falling iguanas in Miami? What's Miami's? My wife was just down near Miami. Holy, it's 74 in Miami. So maybe Miami's not getting cold after all. A high of 54 on Christmas Day in Miami. That's effing cold. So enjoy that shorts weather in Miami. Rich says, remember when Jerry Reinsdorf led the 1994 baseball strike to try to contain costs? Yeah, F Jerry Reinsdorf. Has Frank automated his snow removal ops yet? No. I haven't seen Frank, but I don't think Frank's going outside. I'm not going outside. So here's my grievance. Plowing and shoveling. A couple of my neighbors, Frank's one of my neighbors that like goes out and shovels. There could be like 3 inches. We could have 8 inches of snow incoming, and there'd be 3 inches of snow. And Frank's out there at 6:30 in the morning shoveling. It's like, Frank, there's going to be 5 more inches of snow. You're wasting valuable energy. And at your age, that energy is, you don't have a surplus, buddy. But it was the other neighbors. I've got some weird neighbors on the corner. I hope they don't watch the show. I don't think that. I'm sure they don't watch the show. But they will spend 8 hours a day. They're retired. They will spend 8 hours a day shoveling snow. And it's like, I guess if you're bored, it does give you something to do, and it gets your heart rate up, I guess. So they were doing it. I think I had one other neighbor I saw because I looked out and I wanted to see, all right, who's the morons in the neighborhood that's shoveling when we have 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts coming that's just going to blow the snow all over the sidewalks and driveways anyway? I didn't touch that driveway or sidewalk in front of my house. Why are you doing that? You're wasting valuable energy, people. Like, vacuum the carpet or something. If you want to do something productive, do the dishes. Fold some laundry. Vacuum. Don't go out and snow blow when you're going to make neighbors like me who contain that energy to ship and list and ship and air their grievances on YouTube. So that was my plowing and shoveling. I haven't seen Frank in a while. I know he's alive and well. I see him drive every once in a while, but he has not automated the snow removal. He does have a snow blower. He blows the snow, but he is not automated. Rich says the minute he had a chance, he signed Albert Bell to that mega million contract. -8 in Indiana. SotoCAD Collectibles, what is up? We were 0 degrees, -17 wind chill in Texas. Texas. That's effing cold. That's effing cold no matter where you're at, no matter what time of year. Even if you're in the upper Midwest, that's effing cold. So owners, most of you are pretty wealthy and spread that money around. Brian says Falling Iguanas sounds like a 90s grunge band. Yeah, it does. That would be a good band name. The Falling Iguanas. Elon needs to offer the flamethrowers for sale again. Snow removal would be awesome. Heck yeah. That would be awesome. Because snow blowers, especially if it's a heavy wet snow, this is a very dry snow, which is bad because when you have 40-mile-an-hour winds, it blows it all over hell and creates whiteout conditions. Our snow like a week ago or 2 weeks ago was very wet and heavy, which sounds dirty. Wet and heavy snow, and it gums up the snowblower. So it's like all just jam-packed up there, and you have to stop. And then, what is it? Grievance time. We should get a bell every time I get to a new grievance. Ding, 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 ding. Grievance time. Not even on my list. What is it with snowblowers? That they'll fire right up and they'll run happily. And then all of a sudden, just as you touch it, you put a little finger on the snowblower and it dies. It's like, okay. And the more it doesn't work, the harder you pull and like throw your freaking shoulder out. Why is that? Fires right up. And then all of a sudden you touch it. What the hell is going on? It's 2022. We've had snowblowers for decades. And you still can't make them run on first start, or even hell, I would take, give it a practice run, and then it fires on the second start. But I'm out there and my neighbors are probably, Bo's losing it, because I'm just like, oh, God. And I'm just, one of these days I'm going to like legit tear the shoulder out of my socket because I'm pissed off at the snowblower. There's my grievance on snowblowers. Bring those flamethrowers. Flamethrowers are for sale again, not shipping yet. Is that true? Are they really marketing flamethrowers? Had a neighbor shovel every hour. He's moved to Florida, thankfully. Yeah, what is it with those neighbors that just have to, there's a little snowfall. It's like, come on, there's going to be more coming. Randy says stickers, tape, and Sharpies on top loaders. There's Randy's grievance. I don't get the, what's this stuff called? Is this shipping tape? So I have this and you're like, well, why do you have it? Shipping packaging tape. I have it for boxes. But when somebody like wraps a GD top loader in that SHIT, oh, that pisses me off. Because it's not even like, if you do just like this type of tape, like Scotch tape on a top loader, like that's fine, because typically it may be a little difficult to get off. But if you chew your fingernails like me, it may like look like crap. But at least you can take like a little Car Dealer Pro box cutter or maybe scissors, and you can safely do it. But when you just wrap that son of a bitch in top, you can't even get it out. It's like, that's my grievance too. John says, I've had my snowblower break more than any other thing I've owned in my life. I think that, what is it with snowblower? How come lawnmowers can work so well? My dad, my dad was of a different generation. He grew up just after, he was born as the Great Depression was ending, but he had, a couple older, I'm trying to think, my aunt and uncles, where he fell in line. But so my grandma and grandpa were like adults during the Great Depression. And so my dad grew up, and they were still poor out, after the Depression, like probably many in the Midwest farmers were. So he took immaculate care of everything. He saved his pennies, and I mean, he was very frugal, and he kept things very nice. He was the he was actually, my dad was pretty stubborn when it came, kind of like me. I get that stubbornness from my father when it comes to like bitching about the neighbors shoveling when there's still 5 more inches of snow coming. And I just actually recently learned, because I was sharing this like this past summer when I was at home at my mom's house, and I'm like, yeah, it's like I don't mow my yard if it's like under 70 degrees. And my mom laughs and she goes, "Your dad was the same way. He would 60 degrees was his cutoff." And I'm like, "Really?" Like I never knew that. So I get that from my dad. Where am I going with this again? Oh, lawnmowers. So he had a Murray lawnmower that he bought from Farm and Fleet in like 1977. He would after each mow, he would wash and wax. He wouldn't wax it every mow, but he would like wash it, like hose it down, wash the lawnmower. But that son of a bee, that Murray lawnmower lasted, let's see, I'm going to use my hands to say 77, 87, 97, 25 years he had that damn thing. And it was his regular lawnmower for 25 years. And then he upgraded to a John Deere, which was like, he was a Chevy and Case because he worked at Case for 20 years or so. So he was anti-John Deere, anti-Ford. Guess what? I was the first to cross the line. I bought a Ford Explorer out of college. Then my mom bought a Ford something, Escape or Edge, probably Escape back then. So there was a Ford in the garage. And then my dad does the unthinkable. There's a Ford in the garage because he was a Chevy man. And then he buys a John Deere lawnmower, and he like sold the Murray lawnmower to my brother for like, I don't know, a 12-pack of Busch Light or something. And my brother used that thing for like another 5 to 10 years. He has a cabin on the Rock River in Illinois, and he would just use it was his like cabin lawnmower. But that freaking Murray, and you know, you hear your elders say they just don't build things like they used to. It's true. Murray lawnmowers. But I bet if you bought a Murray lawnmower today, it wouldn't last 35 years. No way in hell. Okay, so why don't they build snow blowers like they do lawnmowers, or like they used to? It probably cost too much money. Now we can do it cheaper, all that crap. Let's see, where we at? So there's John. Snowblower hack. Spray some WD-40 on the blades and in the stack. Oh, I never thought of that. Well, actually, I didn't think of anything. I just want to push, play, walk away with all of my dad built the house, restored classic vehicles, and I can't put together a freaking bookshelf from Walmart. I did not get that. My brother got all of those building and mechanical genes. Speaking of grievances, was Steph's best friend our trading cards, who did a 2-hour show every week with grievances. Pretty much. His whole life is grievances. Every second of every day is airing a grievance. Sharpies are no big deal. It comes off. Would you rather people write on cards? Let's see. John, I guess you never wanted to have an autographed card. Basement card collector, did you mention name that player would be making an appearance this morning? Yes. So we'll be choosing. This is going to be a long show, by the way. We're already 49 minutes in. I still have grievances to air. I've got to go upstairs, and since it's going to be a long show, I've got to go upstairs. Randy is in the chat. He sent me a box. I'm going to open that live. So I'm going to go upstairs, grab that box, and get another cup of coffee. This is 763 episodes of Hobby Evolution. There has never been a 2 cup of coffee morning, but today is that day. 2 cups of coffee, and we'll play Name That Player. It's going to be either 87 Topps Baseball or 88 Topps Baseball. When we get to it, we'll take a viewer's choice vote. So that is coming up this morning as well. It's too damn cold. It's cold everywhere. So what else are you going to do? Work, I guess, or watch YouTube. Rich antagonist will never be happy. Amen to that. Angel Baby Cards, what's up? I use the Scotch shipment tape only to seal the top of the top loader for long-term storage. That works. Heading out, have a good day. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it. Sharpies on top loaders, Rich. I love writing on top loaders. Let's see. Haven't had that yet. Scotch tape on top loaders is grounds for hobby dismissal. Morning to Paul Carl Cards. What's up? Let's see. Max says the second is the people that intentionally. Oh, here's another Max grievance. People that intentionally damage limited cards, i.e., IP, signed low number card, or taking the gold silver out of impeccable and eminence. So that is, I also dislike that. I don't like in-person signatures on really any type of color card, unless it's like a gold. If it's numbered out of like 2000, I'm okay with it. But if it's like numbered out of, especially super low number, like less than 100, if it's like a green out of 99 and it's an in-person auto, it's even 99 is kind of easy to find. But yeah, I agree with that. That does annoy me. Like, not as much as annoys Nat Turner at PSA, which is part of his business. Come on, Nat. But I agree. I do agree with that. My kid is 2 now, so I've got about 4 more years till I've got a snow shoveler. Hey, there you go. John says, and Rich, I don't collect autos. Sorry, I missed your point. Talk amongst ourselves. We're going to have to do that once I go get my second cup of coffee. Angel Baby Card says, friends, here's a little secret to remove that Sharpie ink on your top loaders. Zevo insect spray works perfectly and it's safe. Interesting. I have never heard of that before. Blaine, what's up? Hell yeah, make it 3. Let's see. Angel Baby Card says, just spray some on a hand towel, rub, and watch the ink disappear. Learned this just 3 years ago, but it's amazing the way it works perfectly. Hey, speaking of that, has anyone ever, and I haven't tried this, and I have these magic erasers, like just to get scuffs off the wall. I've heard that magic eraser will get ink off a baseball. Like, say you get, like, I have some baseballs that, like in the heat of the moment, I got a nice baseball signed by somebody that maybe shouldn't have had autographed. Like, it was a White Sox player, which I think I gave the ball away at one point. But it's like, I kind of wish I could just erase this. And I've heard magic eraser. I have a box of like 12 balls. Maybe I should try it. Magic eraser, I've heard, wipes off ink on baseballs. Let's see. Rich says, I finally put the cards from the Secret Santa party at the LCS into my inventory boxes. Next up, I still have 3 boxes to open. Very nice. Max says, you skipped a bunch. You'll probably like my first one better. Oh, where did I skip? Let's see. What did I skip? I don't think I missed anything. Let's see. Thank me later. I assume tape on top loaders was from a pissed off seller who was disappointed with their auction results. Max says, I use magic erasers weekly on my video game stuff for markers. They are abrasive though and can take off the surface on certain items. Aha. That is interesting. I removed some guy named Ruth's signature with a magic eraser. Worked great. Magic eraser is abrasive. Okay, so magic eraser is abrasive. So be careful. Thank you for those tips. Grievance, promoter signs. We talked about this, and I am excited. By the way, John Newman, Sports Card Nation, is going to have the promoter of the sign that my grievance was based on about having non-vendors can't sell inside the show. And this is a grievance for me because I get both sides, and I think John disagrees with my take on this. And I can see both. I can see both sides, but as a promoter, and especially now, it's getting to a point where it could become an issue, and there's lots of gray areas to it. Like, it's not okay if a non-vendor And it's not okay even if a vendor comes up to another dealer table and tries to poach a customer that's actively shopping at a dealer table. Like, that's not okay, really, in any circumstance. Like, even dealer to dealer, that's not okay. Even if a dealer's paying for a table, it's not cool to go up to another dealer table and talk to a customer and say, oh, hey, by the way, I've got bargain boxes. Check these out. And like, that's not cool. So there you go. John says etiquette, common courtesy. But if somebody's just walking around and say somebody's at a table and you just overhear and say the customer walks away and he's just walking and not actively shopping at anybody's table, and you can say, hey, buddy, I saw you were looking for a Bobby Witt Jr. rookie card. Check out what I've got. And hey, you can do it. I'm okay with that. If you're in like a trade space. So what I liked about this most recent Madison card show, it wasn't a sellout show, so I had a little flexibility, which I actually kind of enjoyed. And so I basically only had tables at the end of the hallway, the mezzanine outside the upstairs ballroom, because that gets the traffic. And then the rest of the hallway, there were tables up there, but it was just like, if people want to sit, people were using that space as like a trade area. Very cool. Now, do I want like somebody coming off the street and opening up their Pelican case and displaying their cards and selling them without paying for a table? No, that's not cool. But if you just want to post up and like you and a few buddies trade, because card show should be like all inclusive. And I hate signs because that means like there's too many rules. And yes, I understand we need to have rules in some circumstances because some people just don't have the common courtesy or etiquette. But it's like, I want I think a good card show should be all inclusive where you can just come out and have a good time. Within boundaries, as long as you're showing common courtesy, and all that stuff. Let's see. So that's my grievance on signs. I hate signs. And the thing is, most people don't read signs. I had and now that the Madison Card Show has gone to the 2-room setup, it's been almost a year now. Most people now realize there's 2 rooms to the card show. But like in the early months, there's signs. The first maybe 1 or 2 shows, I didn't have like enough signs. Now I feel like there's ample signage, and somebody's like, where's the room? And I'm like, well, there's a sign right there. There's arrows. There's legitimately arrows pointing you to the room. Follow the arrows. People just don't. Oh, I didn't even see the sign. But hey, I'm guilty of not reading signs, directions, all that as well. But I hate signs, and most people don't read them anyway. So then when they get posted to the internet, they go viral. And the funny thing is, nobody knew what card show it was. And I think Dan actually said, hey, that was the Syracuse show. Angel Baby Card says, I've been up all night going through monster boxes. I don't sleep much these days. Max says, I think there's a ton of gray area on this matter. Honestly, I totally agree. As long as you're using common courtesy and etiquette, thank you, John, for the verbiage. I think it's okay. Let's see. Max says, maybe I missed it. I said one of my main grievances is people complaining about getting a decent hit. I did not see that grievance. Getting a decent hit in Heritage Ginter and people not knowing the product. Maybe I missed you talked about it. I did not. No, I did not see that grievance. Yeah, that's in Ginter is so people will buy Allen and Ginter, and then they pull a non-sport auto, which are usually like the best autos to pull. And then, I bought a baseball product. I want a baseball auto. It's like, well, you're not buying the right product because half of the product is not baseball. And it's like, you know what? If you pull an influencer auto, you can sell it and buy 15 baseball autos from the same damn product. A baseball auto is going to cost you $5 or $10, but that influencer auto might be 100 or 200, depending on who it is. I'm completely, that is one of my grievances. Oh, there's no hits in Heritage. Well, no shit. It's not a hit product. Learn the product. Understand. Before you put money into something, like at least do a little homework. Understand what you're buying. Let's see. Rich says, this is a joke grievance. How many people in the Couch People chat are up and responding to my 3 a.m. posts? I'm not responding to, actually, I think I might have been awake at 3. I was awake at like 1 or 2 a.m. I just randomly woke up, and then I was wide awake. But I don't think I saw your 3 a.m. post. Usually I'm a rock. If rocks slept, I would sleep like a rock. I'm out. Doesn't anyone sleep in that chat? John says, if you were posting a card for sale on Facebook, would you like it if someone came in and offered the same card for less? No. And here's what it is. Common courtesy and etiquette. If you're at a card show, and so I liken your example is like what I explained. So your example, somebody on Facebook posts a card for sale. That's a dealer at a card show. And somebody that comes in and offers the same card for less is like going up to that dealer at a card show and poaching a customer away. It's not the same as just being at a card show and selling a card in the hallway, or a deal falls through at a dealer's table. So it's different scenarios. Let's see. I've been up all night going through monster boxes. Don't sleep much. Let's see. Where are we at? I think I read that one. Where are we at? I'm skipping a lot of chat. As I say, that sign is a reflection of dealers airing their grievances that they are not getting first shot at walk-ins. I agree. And I have not once, and out of the, say 20 card shows that I've promoted, which I know is not a lot compared to the vets. I've never had a dealer. I had one dealer complain about somebody attempting to poach a customer. And guess what? It was another dealer. I have not, and that's only happened one time. I've not had, and it was about bargain boxes, I think. I have not had any dealers complain about people walking in off the street with a Pelican case. But I did have one. I've had one complaint out of the 20 shows, and it was another dealer that tried to poach from another dealer. Let's see. Where are we at? Cash only dealers are more of a scourge. And I think 99% of people feel the same way on it. It's 2022-ish. Yeah, we're what, 8 days away from a new year. Angel Baby Card says it's 6:10 a.m. here. I'm ready for a reheat on my cup of morning coffee. All right. SotoCAD Collectibles, have you ever had a dealer sitting next to you ask you for a good deal on some cards, so you break down and sell them to him, and he sets them out for sale on his table? I don't think so, but I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind that. Because you're both there to sell cards, and it's like you're not like, you're in it to sell. And if it's like once that money exchanges hand, he can do whatever he wants. He can go mark it up on his table. He can give it away. I really don't care. As long as, I don't see any circumstance where it would bother me in that scenario. Randy says, do you skip, Daniel? Max says 70s. I think cash only will only get more prevalent. I agree with that because of the $600 deal. I don't want PayPal Cash App at a show if I'm set up, but if it's a bigger deal, I'm not going to turn something down. And it's frustrating for me as a buyer, because it's more difficult to track and show a paper trail on a cash deal. So typically what happens is, what did I do? So basically what I try to do is PayPal out for cash. And that's what I did when I bought the collection in Rockford. I was a promoter, and somebody off the street offered me a collection. We went out in the parking lot. He wanted cash only because of the $600. Wanted to avoid the taxes. I didn't have the cash on me, and so I went and it worked out because now I have a paper trail. I PayPal'd the money to a dealer, and then the dealer cashed me out. So then I had that. It looks like I paid him $1,000. So I had a paper trail for that $1,000. Angel Baby Card's gonna go get some coffee. I need a damn coffee maker down here because I've got to run upstairs. But Randy's box is upstairs. We're gonna get to Randy's box. I don't even think I'm halfway through my grievances. Let's see. They're running a business. They should act like it, and I do agree with that. I do agree with that. If it's a deal, like even if you're just doing it on the side as a side hustle, I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. Let's see. Where are we at? We're still talking amongst ourselves, and Bo has yet to get that package. I have no doubt dealers have no problem PayPaling their purchases, yet they expect others to cash. Breaking news from Uncle Rich. Dirk Nowitzki has been announced as a nominee for the Basketball Hall of Fame. He is worthy, but my grievance will be about people who should not be in the Hall of Fame being nominated. Oh, man, don't get me started. I'll save that for another day. We'll save my Hall of Fame grievances for another day because I could do a whole show on my Hall of Fame, and namely the Baseball Hall of Fame. People get kicked out of Facebook rooms for this behavior. Facebook group equals card shows, but it's different. It's like your example is a little different. Matt Skaggs, what is up? Good morning. Matt Skaggs, a dealer at my show. So I will ask you, as a dealer, do you like it or dislike it when non-dealers bring in cards to trade or sell at a card show? As a dealer, what's your thought on that? Do you think they should be banned from coming into a card show and trying to sell cards and not having a dealer table? Or do you like that? Cooter says, yes, John, you can't evade taxes if your cash receipts are tracked. They are okay tracking purchases. That's cost of goods. If you make your money on cards, then who cares who buys your cards? That's kind of my thought. Let's see. Dealer's deal. Where are we at? Let's see. Skip too far. Zach and Porter, what is up? Good morning to you. Rich says, I need a Keurig. Max says, I pay my fair share of taxes. You're telling me you report every single thing you sell. The holier than thou tax people are also a grievance for me. Max has a new grievance. The cash for cards thing is honestly 95% of why card shows actually exist. Otherwise, nobody would be hustling or setting up at shows. Perfect world is that there's a vacuum tube between my house and fellow couchers. Every time I mail a package, I find something I forgot to send. In all honesty, amongst most of the people who bought from me at shows, I realized were trying to win on their purchase. Absolutely. There's Matt's response. Matt is a dealer at a card show, sets up at many card shows, and he loves it when non-dealers come in to sell cards. And I agree. And I, as a promoter, I also like it. As long as you do it using John's verbiage, common courtesy, etiquette, and you're golden. I like it. It promotes, and it also promotes like a healthy hobby environment for a buy, sell, and trade. Buy, sell, and trade. There were a few collectors who bought from me, and I always tried to treat them especially well. Let's see. Sell to other attendees. Be clear. But yes, to sell to other attendees, but they're also selling to dealers. Most of the dealers like it when they come in because they're not just going to attendees. It's a free, they want to sell. Somebody coming off the street wants to sell their cards. They don't care if it's a dealer or an attendee. And also the reason that sign was made at that card show was because dealers were complaining. So I wanted to get a dealer response. The cards this year are kind of leaning toward the Boston Red Sox for some reason. Back in the day, some dealers would wheel their stuff around. Now it's Pelican cases. I don't even remember in the 90s, I think I just had like a standard, like one of these. I just took my cards this was my Pelican case as a 10-year-old in 1992. Let's see. Matt risks wrong answering and having his new table assignment near the dumpster. I would not do that. Let's see. Holier than thou tax people, aka ethical. Rich says, but you don't want to not let people who want to sell their cards to dealers as a one-off come to the shows. Let's see. Wait, but you don't want to not let people who want to sell their cards to dealers as a one-off come to the shows. I think generally speaking, people that bring in their cards, if they're not set up as a dealer and they want to sell or trade their cards, they don't care if it's a dealer or an attendee. They're just going to walk the room. And usually, who's the first person they go to? They're not just going to go see Joe Schmo, attendee. They're going to go to a dealer and be like, hey, I want this card. And sometimes the dealer says, I don't want it, but hey, this guy walking the floor, Max is walking. I want Max. Have you ever bought from a non-dealer attendee at a card show? Because I could see that, because Max is a regular at my card show in Madison. I know he goes to other shows, and dealers know. And that's what happened in my case at the Rockford show. The guy, the non-dealer, had this collection. He went up to a dealer, said, hey, I've got this collection in my car. Are you interested? Nah, I'm not interested. Hey, but that guy right there, he's one of the show promoters. That's stuff he buys. And I mean, I looked like an attendee because I'm just walking the show floor looking at bargain boxes. So I just think it having it open like that encourages commerce. And that money's staying in the room. It's not like Joe Schmo off the streets coming in with his Pelican case and selling all his cards, poaching from dealers, selling only to customers, and then leaving the show and buying a yacht. That's not happening. I know I'm dramatizing, but it's not like he's going out buying Lambos with his money. He's probably going to go spend it with the other dealers or on cards in general. John. So John, you're giving examples that completely fall out of like what's acceptable. If you bring a fold-out table to your show and set up in the lobby, no, that's not okay. It's not. Consumer to consumer is okay. On the show floor, I'm cool with it. Don't bring in a table set up in the lobby. Don't go poach from other dealers. Don't be a dick. You know, that's not just like, yes, it's okay. And then you throw these examples out, because some of the examples you throw out, no, absolutely not okay. But in some instances, yes, absolutely okay. It's not just, I'm saying, yes, just a free for all. It's anarchy at card shows. No, bringing your own table and setting up. It's also, like I said earlier, if there's an empty table, you can't just come up and sit at the table and set up like you're selling cards. If you want to sit at the table and trade cards with a couple other guys, that's cool. I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with you acting as a dealer at a table. I'm not okay with you bringing in your own table and setting up in the lobby. I am okay with you sitting in the lobby and trading with other attendees. I'm not okay with you sitting in the lobby and setting up like you're setting up as a dealer. It's not like clear, you know, there's examples of what's okay and what's not okay. Kind of like everything else in life. Angel Baby Card says, shit, where are we at? Hey, where I live in Central California, we get all of our sports cards shipped in from the Midwest. So every time we get a new shipment, it always seems KC for whatever reason. C to B is awesome. Let's see. I love when collectors sell their cards to me. In 1988, a collector sold me a 1954 Jackie Robinson so that he could buy a 1988 Donruss wax. Wah, wah. What was Dr. Jim Beckett? He traded a mantle for a laser disc player or something like that. There's a new hobby show coming. We'll tackle this in depth. SotoCAD Collectibles. I think many of the sellers walking around with cases at our show are guys that come from out of town for the day and can't commit a whole weekend stay. Harlan says the vast majority of people bringing cards in Sell to dealers, not other attendees. That's 100%. And that's why most dealers like it. What happened was at this particular, the one we're talking about, and I think that next week is when John's releasing the podcast, Sports Card Nation. He's talking to the promoter that put this sign up. From the story that I heard, dealers were complaining about consumer to consumer dealing at the show. So I'm curious, what were there ramifications? Each state is different as far as taxing purposes go. So maybe that's why. But from what I heard, dealers were complaining. Maybe it was a case where a consumer to consumer deal went through that a dealer felt slighted on, like he didn't get the deal first. And I want that deal. So I'm curious. Let's see. We're getting loads of Boston Red Sox cards here in Central California via Walmart. Interesting. Mrs. Klein is here and says, hey, I know that guy on the screen. Hello, Mrs. Klein. Those semi-trucks roll into our store almost continuously. Max says, yes, I have bought from just about every person at a show. She still remembers her guest appearance at the Couch People Christmas party. Yes. Terry Alexander, what's up? Good morning. By the way, again, we're an hour and 16 minutes in. We're still airing grievances. We're going to play Name the Player. I'm going to open up Randy's box. I'm going to get a second cup of coffee. 763 episodes, and I've never refilled my coffee cup. And I'm getting thirsty. Porter is watching the top 100 plays of the 2022 MLB season on MLB YouTube. What do you think are the top 2 in correct order? I have no idea. 2022, no clue. I have a terrible memory. No idea. Paul, what's up, Paul? Best is taking stuff you want to sell trade, find a dealer with some stale inventory, and dealers are way more willing. Absolutely. And I think typically for anybody coming in, like the agenda for a non-dealer looking to sell cards is not to find another customer, because it's a lot more difficult to sell consumer to consumer at a card show than it is consumer to a dealer. Because you just walk up to the dealer tables, that they're likely a buyer, and maybe you don't have what they're buying. But I bet in many cases when there's a consumer to consumer, I bet that was led from a dealer conversation where the dealer's like, I don't want it, but hey, that guy, his name's Max. He buys 1 million NASCAR cards, and boom, Max fills his basement with 1 million NASCAR cards. I am promoting anarchy. If this is anarchy, I will promote it, as long as it's within the lines of what's courteous and etiquette. I didn't say that. As long as it's courteous. Let's see. Max says he's not even close to promoting anarchy. We should drop it before the court recommends counseling for us. Probably a good idea. Cooter says this C2C discussion is the feats of strength portion of Festivus. And you know what? I think we're all stubborn enough that we're going to walk away from this conversation not thinking any differently than what we already think. Because I can tell you that I understand some of these. I understand in some cases why, but it's not going to change my mind. John promotes it's just lunch dating, but thinks people who hook up at an open dating happy hour is a hard foul. Trying to find an analogy here. Let's see. I've never heard of an issue at Bo's shows with these policies, and I've attended over 90%. Most people are great about giving dealers room. And I'm glad that Max, I'm glad that you noticed that. That's been my common belief as well. John doesn't care. John doesn't care about, it's not about you, Max. John just doesn't care about any of our opinions. We're back to talking amongst ourselves. I think that's abundantly clear at this point. Let's see. Last time I said that, Bo promptly added 20 minutes. Oh, we're going to add like another hour to this show. Judge and Pujols were 1 and 2 on the top plays of 2022. Let's see. Angel Baby Card says, honestly, I'm okay with 2022 Topps Chrome, but the population count is going straight to hell someday. Way too many series and products. They have a term for this on the bar scene. Rhymes with cock block. Where's the sex bots? You've invited the sex bots. I promote anarchy and John invites the sex bots. If you were a Jets fan this morning, your grievance is why does not Zach Wilson go back to his primary career as a MILF chaser? Rich is also promoting the sex bots, MILFs and cock blocking. John says, I already have the GIFs lined up for this in group chat. There's my grievance. People that call it GIFs. It's a GIF. And I know, like, I think the creator even said it's a GIF, but no, it's not a GIF. GIF is the peanut butter, and it's spelled with a J. A GIF. GIF. Kyle says, so I haven't been to a card show in 24 years. When I go to Madison in January, is it okay to exchange cash for cards? Absolutely. Let's see. Rich is trying to lighten the mood with Jets talk. So I think we've gone to both ends of the earth on signage at card shows. We aired the grievances on plowing and shoveling, the neighbors that do it when there's still a foot of snow coming. Let's see. I'm going to save some of these. PPP, I think I've talked about. We don't need to go into that again. Let's see. Nobody reads the signs. That's just piggybacking. Nobody reads the signs anyway. SportLots. I have a PSA I'm going to save. I don't deal with PSA, so my grievance doesn't matter. But I do have a grievance with SportLots. This pissed me off. I had not bought a card on SportLots for like 7 years, 6 years, 5 years, something. It's been a long time. So I put an order in and I paid for it, and PayPal took my money and sent it to SportLots. And then like a week later, I get a notification from SportLots. Pending order notification. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. To view and pay for this order, this SportLots notification is to remind you that you have a pending order on SportLots.com. I had already paid for this. I received this notice and I'm like, that's weird. I checked PayPal. Boom. PayPal took the money out. PayPal sent the money to SportLots. To view and pay for this order, click here. I'm like, okay, maybe there's a glitch. Well, I get a couple more messages. Finally, I'm like, well, shit, I guess maybe they didn't get it. So I make another payment. Guess what? I get another damn notification from SportLots. You have a pending order. You haven't paid for this. Here, click here to pay. So I paid a second time. Guess what? I get more notifications. So I send a message to SportLots. Let's see. My message, hello. I have been charged twice via PayPal for a pending order which still says payment is due. I double checked my PayPal status and funds were taken out twice. So this, FU SportLots, this is the customer service I get. First sentence, to be clear. Oh, SportLots, you need to hire a new customer service rep. To be clear, SportLots did not charge you twice. You were only charged once. However, you did pay twice. You dumbass. You sent me an email every day saying I have a pending order notification with a link to pay. So I paid again. To be clear, F you. I have found both payments and I have refunded one of the payments and processed your order. For some reason, PayPal didn't send us notification of payment and did not authorize us to process the order. This happens rarely, and they have not been able to tell us why this occurs. A-hole, you should have just deleted the first two paragraphs, or actually the first two sentences, because that's shitty customer service. So SportLots, eBay. Yeah, now we're going on to eBay. So eBay's overcharging me on... and this this is not me clicking pay a second time because I'm getting it's just taking the transaction fees. Again, I will reiterate because I think when I posted on Twitter, I think some people thought I was complaining about eBay fees. I'm not complaining about eBay fees. I think 12% final value fee, I'm certainly in the minority, I think is a wonderful, fantastic fee. I am happy to pay 12% final value fee with the eyeballs eBay gives me and with all of the background stuff that eBay does for me that I don't have to do. 12% is a bargain in my opinion. And I think I'm in the minority when I say that. So this is not eBay fees. This is wrongfully, erroneously taking fees that do not belong to eBay as in the transaction fees, where they're breaking up orders. This happened 12 times. And as I was shipping yesterday, hour 3 will be Bo versus Kirkland over the envelope shortage. So, and I brought this up, and the person who actually that I noticed it and then reached out to me and said, hey, that was me, ordered again, put a thank you, ordered 24 more cards from me yesterday. And guess what? Again, they broke it up. He goes, this was in one transaction, showed me the screenshots. And yet on the back end, they broke it up into 3 transactions and charged me each time 30 cents each. And it happened 12 times just yesterday. 12 times 30. What's the math on that? $3.60. If it's $3.60 a day this has probably been happening at least a year. That's over $1,000, I think. What's the math on that? I won't get it out. I know it's a good amount of money. So where did I leave off? eBay customer service chat sucks. We all know that. Didn't get anywhere. They said they were going to pass it along to the tech team. So I go back to Twitter, and Twitter, it basically was like an all day. Like, what strikes me as odd is that my DMs with Ask eBay on Twitter, I look at the timestamp, so I reach out. Yesterday morning at 7:40 a.m. is when this all began on Twitter DMs. I shared exactly what was happening in text, and then I showed a screenshot. Here's what's happening. Blah, 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 blah. So I sent that at 8:06 a.m. Then it was 2.5 hours later before I received a response. And that was just for my patients and them wanting to check it out. So then I had to authenticate my account using the link for social media purposes on DMs. So that was 2.5 hours later. And then in the meantime, it happened again with the same buyer. So I let them know, hey, this just happened again on a 24 card order. And I said, I found this on more than, I guess it was more than a dozen instances of overcharging in 2 days. It was 12 yesterday. So 2 hours later, they respond again. Thanks for the screenshot and the additional information. From here, I have passed this information along to our tech teams to have it further looked into and any corrections made internally. Yeah, you better make some corrections. While we understand this may have been the resolution provided previously about this, because I did reach out to them about a year ago or possibly a year and a half ago. But this would be the next steps forward getting this corrected. So that's basically all I've received. I did connect on LinkedIn yesterday with a category manager in trading cards. And I reached out and sent them a DM on LinkedIn explaining what was happening. No response from that person. Do I have some notifications? So after my show yesterday, I found some more category managers. I did connect with another one connected with me this morning. So I will send the same message to them. One of the other category managers that did not connect, I did have an email for them. I sent them the same email, and I have not received a response via email from that category manager. So basically, nothing has been reached, and I'm still talking to robots that are reading from a script. So that's where we're at. That's my last grievance for today. Where are we at in the chat? So we can break away. So I will, what I'll do now, the grievances are over. We have aired the grievances. Now we can have some fun. We can play Name That Player. We can open up Randy's box. That sounds dirty. And I'm going to get a second cup of coffee. Before I do that, though, I want to get caught up in the chat. And then you can talk amongst yourselves. Angel Baby says, Royals 417 says the hobby must suck. Let's see. Harlan says, to be clear, that's bad customer service etiquette. Absolutely. It's just, I read that first sentence and I'm like, okay, I'm pissed off. Let's see. Between the grading companies, scanning services, insertion fees, shipping, getting hard to hit my numbers on profits. Current grievance, people who send you an eBay offer, you accept, and then they don't pay for 4 days. That is annoying. Yep, I read that same comment yesterday on Sports Card Dad. If you follow Hallmark movies, you will understand this meme. That 70s card show says, maybe you should have paid cash. There's an ATM in the lobby of SportLots. The only hobby grievance I have is when YouTube disables comments on our YouTube videos when I clearly have it set for review. All comments as a toast is a minor. That is my only hobby complaint. Love cards. Let's see. Angel Baby says, seems what they are doing is using the charge for each service approach. That makes it seem fair to overcharge the seller. Steve, what's up? Or they send you $1 offer, media mail item with $3.49 ship. So fees and packaging cost more than $1. You counter with cost explanation and still the cheapest shipped on eBay. I agree. That is annoying. The feats of strength. eBay category managers probably getting a good laugh at all of this. Their attitude most likely, you baseball card guys should be thankful we give you an amazing market. Bo is now inviting the sex bots himself. We've got Augusta Lawn Care of Cherry Hill. Good morning to you and happy Christmas Eve and a Merry Festivus. So the airing of the grievances. There's my feats of strength. Over for another year. Come back next year. I did low roller. I did. Thank you for stalking my eBay store. So I'm gonna talk amongst yourselves. Have a fun chat. Actually, as I let you talk amongst yourselves, I'll give you something to do. Choose between these two packs. Do you want 1988 tops or 1987 tops for Name the Player? So as you type those responses, I'm going to fill my coffee cup. I'm going to get Randy's package, and I'll be back. I'm back. Okay. Randy's package. Where are we at in the chat? We've got 87, 87, 87, 88, 87. Lots of 87s. Looks like we're going with 87. Okay. All right, so let's get caught up. Hey, Augusto, what are your thoughts on robot mowers? Frank needs help in the spring. Ooh. It's good coffee. Also, by the way, hit like and subscribe. Bo, how much profit did you make on that $600 and how much did your wife's... only thing worth a crap in 88, so sorry, is Glavin. That's true. Although I've learned to appreciate 88 tops. Ryan Fagan of the Sporting News gets the most responses to his requests for comments on 1987. And that's what I chose with Baseball Card Illustrated with Bronco at the Madison Card Show last weekend. And he had a whole bunch to choose from. He had a great selection of packs, but I could not turn down 87 tops. On a more serious note, did you guys see that Brick Tops factory set? Yes. That was insane. The dude was holding up with like one hand, and the whole like set was completely bricked. Just a giant brick of what, 2006 tops or whatever it was. Dan is getting tired. Everyone have a nice holiday. You too, Dan. Thanks for jumping on. Bo is getting Randy's package. Come on, man. This is a family show. The second cup of coffee is really doing the trick. Yummy, yummy. Oh, by the way, I cleaned my coffee maker. Yes. So my coffee maker, that's why I was tardy many times, because it would take 20 minutes to like get 3/4 of a cup. It would take 20 minutes to brew 3/4 of a cup. So I ran some vinegar through the coffee maker yesterday, ran some water, and I'm like, ooh, I hope I ran enough water through to get that vinegar out. Does not taste like vinegar. So I did a standout job, and the coffee brewed in like a whole pot in like 10 minutes. So I guess that's all it took. Just a little vinegar, and we get a fast pot of coffee. Zach says, wait, did I read Bo's room correctly? We can or cannot sell to each other in this chat. Do I have to have a wrench to sell someone in the chat? Scotty Dubs, what's up? Scotty Dubs is really good at our game. So we're going to open Randy's package first, and then we'll play Name the Player, 87 Topps Edition. I could not believe the whole set was stuck together, and he was holding it in the air, and they were still stuck. It was crazy. How much of the $600 card was sold? Actually, it sold for more than I expected it to sell for. I was very happy with that sale. Let's see. That was a crazy pick. Just unbricked a 94 and 95 last night. 94 wasn't good. 95 made it without issue. Augustus says 1987. It was the first year actually I started seriously collecting. I remember going to BJ's Wholesale every single week, food shopping, and buying another box from the pallet they had. Let's see. John says, Grievance, some dude asked if he could work with me at the gym. Work in with me? Work out with me? Work in with me? Do I look like to work in with people? I did not see the set video. I'll have to check it out. I'm ready for coffee maker in my room. Depends on how long Sexy Man Keating has been using that piece of equipment. If you're moving at an efficient manner, then I don't believe you need to. If you're doing supersets, you lose choice. Where do you go for that coffee? Tim Hortons. Robot mowers are good for small lawns. Low Roller says your Seth Curry card didn't sell at auction since it did relist. It sold, but the buyer didn't pay. The buyer didn't pay. So let's check out what Randy's got. So this came from my buddy Randy, who I was fortunate enough to meet at the he's come to the Rockford show, or he's come to the Madison show a couple times, and he's come to he came to the Rockford Midwest premiere. By the way, I love using, here's just an eBay hack. When I sell like a higher end card, I will reuse, so this bubble mailer that Randy sent, I will reuse this, and I'll probably cut it in half. And what I'll do is, say if I use a card saver, I've got this Bobby Witt rookie. Say this Bobby Witt rookie was like a $200 card. I would put it in the card saver, and then I would put it between two pieces of cardboard. And then I would put it in a bubble mailer inside another bubble mailer. Now, if it's like more than $200, then I'll ship it in a box, and I'll just use a small BCW box or card box, and then I'll put that in a bubble mailer. So that's my little hack on higher end cards. Let's see. I'm putting up a sign. I'm going to get an early start on next year's Grievances. I put in a best offer of $2 on an eBay auction where the seller had a buy it now of $4 and got blocked. That's interesting. Tim Hortons just opened in Texas. There is hope for 2022-23 Tim Horton cards going forward with a cup of coffee. Keating watching guys doing the abductor with his phone out in snapping Polaroids to sell in his store. Bo doesn't sell cards. It's all a front for Mexican cartels. Just rip off the shipping label. Much easier. Bo must have liked my Secret Santa package to his with not one, but two bubble mailers. Heck yeah. Zach, I was in the toilet stall. That's why his question alarmed me. Let's see. 2 weeks ago, some seller sends me a Chris Webber in a PWE and a soft sleeve. I almost wanted to strangle him. Oh, that's, yeah, you got to have a card saver or top loader. This show has reached Bobby Hotline excitement levels. So here we go. Randy writes, ho, ho, ho. Hope you like the card, Santa. Oh, so here we go. Let's see. We'll get out this handy dandy card saver, Card Dealer Pro. And by the way, I love these. I don't know if Ted's in here still, but I love these Card Dealer Pro. I have one in each room. I have one here in the card room. I have one out in the rec room for when I open boxes. This one when I open stuff in here. Oh, wow. Randy. Wow. A 1 of 1 from Immaculate, Addison Russell. Randy, that is amazing. 2018 Panini Immaculate, 1 of 1, Addison Russell. This is nice. That is very cool. Randy, thank you so much. That is awesome. By the way, Addison Russell is going to be signing down in your neck of the woods at Brick and Ivy in I think that's in Hoopston, home of the Corn Jerkers. 1 of 1, Addison Russell, Immaculate Immaculate Conception, Immaculate Reception. Rest in peace, Franco Harris. Immaculate Collection, Addison Russell, 1 of 1. 1 of 1. Wow, that is awesome. Thank you again. Very nice. Very nice. Now let's go into the chat. Let's see. Is Hobby Hotline now a one-man show? Sean says, I had a dude offer me $20 on a $30 listing. I counted at 25 and he counted at 15. Yeah, those are just like immediately declines. I had, if somebody buys, I'll sell cards for $1.99 out of my store, but not on a single transaction. So I had somebody offer me 99 cents on a card. I think it was like a Ken Griffey Jr. card this morning. And so I counted it $1.40 because he didn't send in any other offers. If he would have sent in a couple other offers, I would have sold them all for 99 cents. But it was just one card. So I lose money on that transaction. So I countered $1.40 and he counters at $1. So I just decline. Low Roller says, check if you have Chris Streveler football cards, the new Jets quarterback. I do not. I don't think so. I may, somewhere buried in a comments box. I looked, he went to South Dakota. I looked him up. I'm like, Chris Streveler. I've never heard of this guy. But he played at the University of South Dakota, which was in the conference I worked for. I'm like, I wonder if he was, because the name kind of sounded familiar, but that's just because I still follow that conference in football when they play my alma mater. But he was not at South Dakota until I think he started at Minnesota for a couple of years. And then he transferred to South Dakota. And I think he was there in like 2016 and 2017. So my last football season working with the team would have been 2013, 2011, 12, and 13 are the 3 seasons I worked for the football team. Let's see. It's all part of the burgeoning Danny Black empire. Speaking of cards, Ethan's acetate card was pretty damn cool. Yeah, Ethan got his of 10 acetate. He had to give away a lot for that card. He had quite the bounty. Let's see. A 1 of 1. Now in the KBO. Yeah, I think he still is Addison Russell. Chris Streveler rookie in 2020. So I don't know what products he's in. But 2020 and 2021, I might have a lot of rookies from those sets depending on what he's in. Since I have SportLots up, let's check out Chris Streveler on SportLots. By the way, even though I did air my grievances and that message pissed me off, I did make 3 more transactions. I did buy 3 more cards from SportLots after that. So I guess I should, full disclosure, it didn't piss me off enough to not buy more cards on SportLots. Let's see. Need more coffee. I just realized I just sat down with a fork to eat my cereal. Bummer. So here we go. Let's get ready. We're going to play Name the Player, 1987 Topps. The leaderboard, Scotty Dubs is running away in first place with 8 points. We've got Basement Collector and Matt Royals 417 and the Minneapolis Kid with 3 points each. We've got Diego, John, Dan, Rich, and the Card Hobbyist all with 2 points each. And with 1 point, we've got Mark, Herman, and Victor. So I think Dan is sleeping. Who else left us? I think Mark left us. I haven't seen the Minneapolis Kid. We've got Uncle Rich here. We've got Matt. I think Basement Collector's still here. Herman might be listening in the background. I think Scotty Dubs is still with us. So that's the leaderboard. So let's go. And let's see. You can't see the first. Oh, and it's perfect. So this is actually perfect. The first guy, you can't see his name. And the card on the back is a checklist. So Basement Card Collector is present and accounted for. He's in a tie for second. Since no work today and it's freaking cold outside, no reason to leave the desk. We've got, we do not have a full stick of gum. We'll throw away the Spring Fever baseball. We've got a beautiful gum stain. Beautiful gum stain. Okay, 87 Topps at a nice price of 69 cents back at release time. So let's go. Let's use an envelope. That's what we've been using. We'll use the envelope. Card number 1. Again, first on my screen gets the point. New York Mets. This should be an easy one. New York Mets spent some time in jail over the years. Rich, Uncle Rich, first to get it. Lenny Dykstra. Uncle Rich is now in a tie for second place. Lenny Dykstra, where are we going to put these? We'll set that there. Here's my pen. Uncle Rich. Oh, damn it. Now we've got okay, there we go. Uncle Rich with his 3rd point. This is a tough one. This is a tough one. I would not have gotten this. Seattle Mariners. Seattle Mariners. He played for the Giants in 1979. He played for the Oakland A's in 81, 82, and 83. Played with the Mariners. Rich. Uncle Rich. It was not Scott Bankhead, but as Rich got it, Bob Kearney. Bob Kearney, man. Uncle Rich is on a roll. 4 points. And now Uncle Rich solely in second place. All right. Okay, this should be an easy one. Great mustache. I'm not going to give a clue. I think somebody will get this. Milwaukee Brewers. Max. Max got it. Cubs fan Max. He managed the Cubs. I was going to give that as a clue, but Max is on the board. So, Max, I know you've scored before. We're going to have to start a second scoreboard on this. I'm just using Post-it notes. So, Max, we started keeping score, like 2 weeks ago? Max is on the board. Let's see. Max says, I wasn't even born yet. 1987 was his career year. Look up his stats. I guess I was going to look up the back of his card, but if 87 was his career year, it would not have his stats on the back. Toronto Blue Jays pitcher. Get that in focus. There we go. He actually had a long career with the Blue Jays. Oh, good guess. But it was not Dave Stieb. Rich gets it again. A lot of Stieb references. Stieb or Stieb. So Rich Klein with the point. And Rich is catching up to Scott. Jim Clancy. Uncle Rich with 0.5. So we've got Scotty Dubs with 8 points, Uncle Rich with 5. And then we've got 1, 2, 3 players with 3 points. Cincinnati Reds. I would say this is semi-difficult. Cincinnati Reds outfielder. Rich. I think Rich was, Max says Rich has his 1987 Rolodex in his brain, open and ready. Oh, quite a few people got the right one. Uncle Rich was the fastest and gets another point. Scotty Dubs, you've got footsteps behind you. Rich with his 6th point. Eddie Milner, I'm impressed. Rich, Zach, Scotty Dubs, and Basement Card Collector all knew that was Eddie Milner. I thought that was a tough one. So Rich is at 6 points. Okay, here's an easy one. This is not a star, but I think he's very recognizable. Houston Astros pitcher. Not Joe Niekro. Not Mike Scott. Dave Smith. Zach with the point. Tom was right behind. Rich was in there. Basement Card Collector. Dave Smith. Yes. So Zach is on the board. Let's see. Oh, that's Zach. That's your first point since we started scoring. I think. Diego, Scott, Victor, John, Herman, Basement Card Collector, Matt, Dan, Rich, Card Hobbyist, Mark, Minneapolis Kid, Max, and Zach. Okay, Philadelphia Phillies. John Keating. Where's John Keating? Here's a Phillies pitcher. Looks like he made his debut in 1983. Yes, Basement Card Collector. Hudson. Charles Hudson. Basement Card Collector with the point. Charles Hudson. So Basement Card Collector is now in solo position of 3rd place with 4 points. Brian Dean says Chris Streveler won the 107th Grey Cup in 2019. Also played for the Cardinals. Can only type snarky shit right now. Okay, Kansas City Royals. DH. He's kind of a big name. Long career. Started his career out with the Reds. Yes, Basement Card Collector. Basement Card Collector with the point. Hal McRae. Looks like a lot of people were in on that. So, was it Basement Card Collector? Yes, Basement Card Collector is sneaking up. Scotty Dubs, we've got Rich and Basement Card Collector sneaking up on Scotty Dubs. So, scoring right now, he hates phones. He hates the cans. Stay away from the cans. So, Scotty Dubs is in first place with 8 points. Rich is in second place with 6, and alone in third place, Basement Card Collector with 5. Oh, here we go. Here's a beauty. This one's going into my PC. No clues need to be given on this. Max, yes. Max gets the point. Sean Dunston. First overall pick in 1982. Max with his 2nd point. Okay, now we go to the arch nemesis, St. Louis Cardinals. Yes, Basement Card Collector. I will absolutely give you a wrench. Where you at? There you go. And you can add your channel. Let's see. Yes, Rich gets the point. Greg Matthews. Uncle Rich, correct. Wearing those sweet, like, vinyl jackets from the 80s. Those are awesome. Uncle Rich is now 1 point behind the lead. 1 point behind the lead for Uncle Rich. We go to LA, the Dodgers. Shortstop. Looks like he made his debut in 1985. Yes, Rich has now made it a tie game. Rich is on a run. Mariano Duncan. Wow. Uncle Rich knows his 87 tops. What doesn't Uncle Rich know? Now we go to KC. Okay. Where's Royals 417? This one's all you. Oh, and we've talked about this guy. My Texas friends will also know, and I guess Uncle Rich. There it is. Uncle Rich gets it. Jim Sundberg. Uncle Rich now has the lead at 9 points from Galesburg, Illinois. Jim Sundberg, longtime Texas Ranger and Texas Ranger executive, Jim Sundberg. 9 points for Uncle Rich, 8 for Scotty Dubs. We've got a game, but we've got a lot of cards left. We've got this. There we go. There we go. A lot of cards left. This is a cello pack, I think 36 cards. One's a checklist, so 35 cards, I think. Let's see. So we've got the Houston Astros. This is a tough one. But I guess he played more 83, 84, 85, 86 with the Astros. This is a tough one. Not Denny Walling. Not Phil. Rich nailed it. Miserock. John Miserock. Should we just end the game and give the game to Rich? 10 points for Uncle Rich. Holy moly. Now we go. Oh, we've got some gum stains here. Did not go over 2 cards, though, but we've got the next card's going to have a pretty sweet gum stain. Okay, Chicago White Sox. Paging Zach and Porter. White Sox. I know after the White Sox, I probably remember him most. Uncle Rich. Wow. Uncle Rich again. John Cangelosi, Uncle Rich. He knows his 87 tops, and he's a fast typer. I remember him more in Pittsburgh with the Pirates. But I don't think he spent too much time on the South Side. We've got after I share this one, I'll have to share the back for the gum stain. It's a pretty sweet gum stain. Kansas City Royals. Where's Matt? Kansas City Royals also played, for the Braves. Basement card collector. Yes, you were faster than Rich this time. Daryl Motley, basement card collector, is now at 6 points. We've got Rich at 11, Scott with 8, and basement card collector with 6. And look at that sweet gum stain. Oh boy, that is pretty. I love gum stains. All right, Seattle Mariners. Seattle Mariners pitcher. This is a tough one. But he played for, he also played for the Brewers. He also played for the Astros. Pete Ladd. Yes, Uncle Rich. That was a little slower to get. Pete Ladd. Seattle Mariners. So Uncle Rich with point number 12. All right, we go to Cincinnati. And I think he had, I think this was a multi-generational player. I think he had a father and a son that played Major League Baseball. Scotty Dubs, yes! Scotty Dubs is back in contention with Buddy Bell. Now, I believe, was his father Gus Bell a former big leaguer and his son David Bell? I don't know if anybody can answer that, but Scotty Dubs with his first point of the day, but he has 9. He's, 3 behind Rich. Correct on the multi-generation. Okay. No point for the next card because it's a team card, Boston Red Sox, so we're not going to play that one. Here's an easy one. No clues need to be given on this one. This is a superstar. I thought he would be a Hall of Famer. Who's the fastest typer? Scotty Dubs. I'll even though it's misspelled, I will give credit for Scotty Dubs' answer. I will give credit. Bobby Bonilla. Distemic is here. What's up, Distemic? He is in Mesa, Arizona. Had some vetoes last night. Now we go to Houston. This guy now works for the Cubs. Astros pitcher. Max, yes. Max gets Jim DeShays, now part of the Cubs broadcast team. Jim DeShays, point to Max. He's got 3 today. Coffee's getting cold. Micah, where are you going today? Which card shop? Oh, we've got to get creative on this one. Which card shop? I've only been to one card shop in that area. I can't remember which one. So names on the top of the All-Star card. Boston Red Sox, an All-Star, hot corner. Scotty Dubs getting the Jim Rice. Scotty Dubs making it a game. So point update, we've got Uncle Rich with 12, Scotty Dubs with 11, Basement Card Collector with 6, and then 3 points each for Matt, Royals 417, the Minneapolis Kid, and Max, all with 3 points. Okay, another Cubby. All right. So when I did 87 top cello pack with Bronco at Baseball Card Illustrated, there was not a single Cubs card in the whole pack. This one I've got, this is the second Cub already. Max, yes. Dennis Eckersley, Max with his 4th point of the game. And now Max is in sole possession of 4th place. All right. Where's my Brewers fans? This guy also at one point, not anymore, but at one point worked for the Cubs. He was a pitching coach. Max with it again. Chris Bosio. Max is making a run. Max is now 1 point behind Basement Card Collector for what, 3rd place? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3rd place. All right. So now we get a little tougher in Seattle. Little tougher in Seattle. He was a shortstop. Looks like he debuted with the Red Sox, Boston Red Sox in 1986. Let's see. Rich, yes, Uncle Rich, Ray Quinones. Uncle Rich with the point, and that puts him at 13. Lucky number 13 for Uncle Rich. All right, this should be a fairly easy one. Oh, we got another All-Star card coming up. I think this is pretty easy for junk wax collectors. Chicago White Sox catcher. This might be a rookie card. Yes, Uncle Rich, I think, was the first one. It was not Ron Kittle. It was Ron Karkovice. Uncle Rich. Focus. Uncle Rich with the point, and he now has 14. So how many cards are we down to? MI3 says that the internet is slow with the cold. We actually, I think we have Charter Spectrum. They said that the internet was going to be, there may be some outages because of the wind, the cold and the wind. 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 cards left. We've got a leader card and a checklist in the last 6 cards. All right, so we've got a Cincinnati. This is an easy one. Fastest fingers on this one. An all-star with the Cincinnati Reds. Tom Gibson, yes. Tom Gibson with the point. Dave, that is Tom's first point. Tom on the board with a point. Okay, now we go to Boston. Future Star. Can I get the Future Star without giving up the name? I think so. A Future Star for the Boston Red Sox. Hobson is not correct. It's close. It is Dodson. Is that misspelled? No, Dodson. I'll give Dobson correct. I'm not going to give Hobson. Hobson is different. So I will give Dodson the point. Uncle Rich with the point on Pat Dodson. Okay. Now we go to Shea Stadium and the New York Mets. I don't even know what New York's baseball stadium is called anymore. Is it like Citibank or? It's not Shea. I will always remember. Just like the White Sox, it's always going to be Comiskey. Wow. Uncle Rich. Yes. I don't think anybody's going to get this. Anderson is correct. Rick Anderson. Rick Anderson. Citi Field. I think it is Citi Field. Uncle Rich with 16 points. This is our last one. This is our last card because the last two are a Chicago White Sox leaders card. I don't even know who's depicted on front. That might be, is that Steve Carlton holding the bat? And I don't even know who the other guy is. And then a checklist. Wah, wah. Okay, so last card, Atlanta Braves. Atlanta Braves. This guy had a long career. This guy had a long career with the Atlanta Braves. Played for the Dodgers and the Orioles and the Yankees and the Rangers and the Braves and the Giants and the Yankees again and the Blue Jays. Not Garber, not Bedrosian, not Mahler. Alexander is correct. Doyle, Alexander. Uncle Rich with a runaway. Uncle Rich with 17 points for the game. In first place. So our leaderboard, we now have 2 Post-it notes for the leaderboard. Let's see. So we've got Uncle Rich in first place with 17 points. Second place, Scotty Dubs has 11. Third place, Basement Card Collector with 6. Fourth place, Max with 5 points. Let's see. In fifth place, we have a tie between Minneapolis Kid and Matt Royals 417. And then we have a tie with 2 points each, Diego, John Keating, Dan, Korean Cardboard, the Card Hobbyist. And with 1 point each, we have Victor, Herman, Mark Marinello, Tom Gibson, and Zach and Porter. So we will play Name That Player again next Friday here on Hobby Evolution. Next Friday. We are over 2 hours in. Holy cow, we've got 30 likes already, 47 still watching. 2 hours and 7 minutes in because it's too damn cold. We aired our grievances at the beginning. I got a 1 of 1 Addison Russell from Randy. Thank you so much. An immaculate collection. 1 of 1 Addison Russell. Very cool. Thank you, Randy. And we played Name the Player. With that, now I've got to get a third cup of coffee and do some shipping. So have a great day. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve. I will go live tomorrow morning. It'll probably be 8 a.m.-ish. So I'll go live tomorrow morning. No show on Christmas Day. I will not go live on Christmas Day, but we might go live Christmas night or maybe even Christmas Eve night with my mom and my wife, and we can share some stories. So MI3 says, I came in late. Did you air your grievances against supply distributors? I did not. I think I did enough grievance airing about my supply distributors earlier. And I'm already 2 hours and eight minutes. So I had enough grievances to air. So yes. So either Christmas Eve night, which is Saturday, either Saturday night or Sunday night, we'll go live with my wife and my mom. So I just I'll basically like go on Twitter and be like, hey, is anybody around to watch this live? Or if you're in the chat right now, which night would you prefer? Which night would you be able to like participate in chat? Because I want it to be interactive where you can ask questions and all that. So we can do that either Saturday night or Sunday night. Max wants Saturday, Christmas Eve. So if anybody else has any, so right now I'll say Saturday. Since I've got somebody that says Saturday, we'll do it Christmas Eve night. KT Oslin saying 80s ladies. Bo will sing about his lovely ladies. That song, God dang it. I'm going to get that stuck in my head. Have you ever heard the 80s ladies? Oh my gosh. Go to YouTube. Rich, I'm gonna watch this after the show. KT Oslin. Okay, so after I end this stream, I want you to go watch this video song by KT Oslin, the 80s ladies. Oh my God. You'll laugh, you'll cry. 80s ladies, I love it. Thank you, Rich. I'm going to have to go watch that. So, hey, thanks again. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you don't already subscribe. Back at it live tomorrow morning for Hobby Evolution. And at this point, we'll go live Christmas Eve night, Saturday night, to talk with my wife and my mom. So until tomorrow, have a great Friday. Stay warm, and we'll talk tomorrow.